We're redefining what a Mom-Bod is, guys. And P.S., when you guys wore your booty shorts on the show, you looked amazing. So I'm going to take the credit for that.
We can be brutally honest with each other. And like, Becky brought up the spandex shorts, but I mean, I had a conversation with Lindsay Partenio about, hey, sweetie, you've lost some weight. You need to get a better bra.
I was trying not to go there, but you just went all the way there.
Are you ready, Ninja Babe?
Are you ready to face your fears?
To ignite your passion
and break through your limitations? Are you ready to get out of your comfort zone
and go after your dreams with unstoppable force?
It's all happening here
on the Ninja Babes podcast,
the place where women spill it all about self-confidence,
courage,
and body image.
This is where we show our strength.
This is the sisterhood.
The sisterhood.
The sisterhood.
The sisterhood.
Where girls gather
to empower themselves
and each other.
Get ready to get rocked.
Because this is where you come
to be encouraged
and be transformed in order to live out your full potential.
Be proud of yourself, Ninja Babe.
Now let's get after it. Welcome to the Ninja Babes podcast. Today is a day like no other because I'm here with the Mom Squad. I'm here with Lindsay Partenio, Lyndsey Halik, Jessica Hughes-Scallos, and Becky Adnot-Haynes. And then there's me, Cara Polillo. I am not a mom, but I am always inspired by hearing mom stories because they're superheroes. Like the fact that these women are able to balance their family life, their husbands, their kids, going after Ninja Warrior, being strong and like incredibly amazing. It's just so many things to balance, and I'm amazed at how you women do that so well. And I'm excited to hear what you have to share with our community as far as going after your own passions. What is mom guilt, and is that a real thing that people deal with? What does it look like to be a strong female, whether you're a mom or not a mom? And just what are those expectations, that some of the stereotypes and expectations that have been in our society that you women have broken? And so, yeah, there's so many things I'm excited to get into today. But I think I'm going to start with Lyndsey Halik. Can you introduce yourself and just explain who are you? How did you get involved with Ninja Warrior? And then how did you meet all of these other fantastic women?
I'm Lyndsey Halik, and I have 4 kids. And when my kids were aged 1, 3, 5, and 7, I auditioned for season 8 of American Ninja Warrior. And I didn't get picked for the show, but my husband did. I auditioned again in season 9, didn't get picked for the show, but my husband did. And then I moved to the Cincinnati area and started training with Becky and Jessica and Lindsay. I auditioned for season 10, did not get picked, but I course tested. And then I auditioned again in season 11, and myself and Lindsay Partenio got picked for the show last year in season 11 in Cincinnati.
Awesome. So then from there, how did you end up all training together? Did you all make it onto the show? Have you all been on A&W? Who wants to jump in?
Okay, I'm Becky. I was on season 10 in Indianapolis, and then the 2 Lindsays were on season 11. And then all of us were waiting to hear back for season 12 because we think we would have potentially been cast in the St. Louis region. So we are hoping for a, full sweep mom squad.
I love that full sweep mom squad. That's amazing. But you've been on each other's sidelines before, right? So when Lyndsey Halik or Lindsay Partenio were on, you were on the sidelines?
Yes, that's right. I was holding a giant mom squad poster when Lyndsey Halik was doing her thing, and I think Lindsay Partenio was pretty hooked up with she was one of those people who had like 40 people wearing pink t-shirts in the crowd. So I wasn't holding her sign, but we always all support each other anytime, someone's on the big stage, even if all of us aren't there.
If I can add, Lindsay Partenio, she had these bright pink shirts for season 11 in Cincinnati, and I walked up, it was my turn to compete. And I couldn't see any of my people. They were down by the second obstacle. But I could see at the first obstacle, Becky and all these other people wearing these bright pink Leapin' Lindsay shirts. And I pointed at them and they saw me. And I just instantly felt better at that point.
And they're in the background of this is Lindsay Partenio. And they're in the background of all of Lyndsey Halik's awesome pictures from her big time on the course.
I love that. I love that you're able to just see each other, support each other. As the mom squad, what does that mean? So do you train together? Do you all live in like a commune and raise your kids together? Like, what does that look like?
So this is Jessica, and right now, I with quarantine, I'm pretty sure we all wish we lived in a commune and could just take on other individuals' kids and have a break. Um, but the way that we got started was Becky was the first person to get the opportunity to train at a ninja gym, and that was James Donald Wilson's Natty Ninja Gym. And originally it was in a abandoned mall that we have here in Cincinnati. And he had to take down all of his equipment every day. So he was looking for a permanent space. So he found a permanent space to open up the gym, and he had a big, kind of like an event at a church that I went to. And that's when I first met James and I met Becky, and I started training at Natty Ninja. So it was kind of us two for about a year. And then Lyndsey Halik came in and Lindsay Partenio came in, and it was just kind of like this instant connection between all of us. We had our youngest, all of our youngest are around the same age. They're within about a year, and they all get along. And basically, it was kind of, oh, well, you're a mom, I'm a mom. You have a boy, because all of us have boys, at least one boy. Lindsay Partenio is the odd person out, and she has a girl too. But it's like, oh, you have boys, our boys can play together, and we can meet up either at family night at the gym or meet up at somebody's house and we can train, because two of us have outdoor ninja courses at our houses that we can go train at. And it was like this all of a sudden a sense of community that we got from people who or moms specifically, that just kind of had this ability to be together. We had these things in common that we could just be together, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I think, as a mom, it's easy to find mom friends, but it's not easy to find mom friends who are obsessed with Ninja Warrior and work out constantly. So I remember the first time I went to the Natty Ninja Gym and Jessica and Becky were there. And I would just kind of hover around them. And then I kind of heard them talking about their sons. And I think I like sprinted over and was like, you have boys? I have boys. My name is Lindsay. Do you want to be friends?
Is that how you teach your kids how to be friends? To eavesdrop on the ones that seem like they have common interests?
Yeah, I think so. And then I think it was like a few months later, then Lindsay Partenio showed up and she was trying to do some obstacle. And she's like, how do you do this? And I was like, I don't know, just go for it. And she just flung herself at this obstacle and like wiped out majorly and was like, I'm fine. And so I was like, all right, we got another one.
That's amazing.
Lindsay Partenio here. And yes, I live for Friday fails. I love fails almost as much as I love when you actually nail a skill that you've been trying for. And I know that going into a ninja gym can be so intimidating. When I first went, I just wanted to get better for obstacle course races and wanted to improve my grip strength. And I went the first time, and luckily these three moms and everybody else at the gym, male and female, mom or not mom, is really inclusive and friendly and just helpful. They'll give you tips, and everybody's rooting for each other, which I think is amazing. So we need more people to come. We need to add to the mom squad. But just feeling included and having this bond and connection was amazing, because it does seem rare to find people with similar interests at our ages. We're all in our 30s, upper 30s, and it's just incredible.
Yeah, and I know that some of you have done OCR, but you had all mentioned to me that you really didn't start ninja until you were already moms. Had you not started anything athletic until after already becoming a mother?
So I did obstacle course racing. I first started, I want to say maybe it was right after I got married. So 2012, I started doing obstacle course racing, and it was something that my husband and I could do together, and we enjoyed doing together, and we got really into it. And then I got pregnant, and a list of other issues came along with that. And he kind of started to shy away from the obstacle course racing. But then I just kind of went full force into it, and it was becoming my outlet. And I remember people telling me about Ninja Warrior, and they're like, you like obstacle course racing. Why aren't you watching Ninja Warrior? And then I think it was my mom told me about Casey Catanzaro's run, and that happened right before I got pregnant, and I was hooked from the minute I saw her first run. So yeah, and I mean I did stuff I swam in high school, but I wasn't like some of these other ninja warriors that you see out there, and I didn't do I didn't do track. I didn't do cheerleading or gymnastics. I'm naturally a very clumsy individual. And so those types of things that involved a lot of eye-hand coordination, I just wasn't very good at. So the idea of being able to work at something and train and do all of those things and get good at it was just very appealing to me.
Yeah. Lyndsey Halik, I see your mic came on. Did you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'll give my background story as far as athletics go. I was a runner, and I ran at the University of Illinois cross country and track and field. And then after college, I would do road races and triathlons. And I was 26 when I had my first kid, and I was 33 when I had my last. And so I was having a kid every other year for all those years. And so I would kind of do road races, in between pregnancies when I could get in good enough shape. And if I can just say, I'm not a person who bounces back into shape quickly after having a baby. In fact, it irks me the people who are like, I just had a baby, I'm in amazing shape. I'm like, yay, good for you. I was barely surviving after I had kids. I was overweight and exhausted, but no, I'm super happy for the people that can be super in shape right away. Um, and after I had my last kid, my husband made me a training course in the backyard, like as a surprise. And he was like, I know you love Ninja Warrior, and we're going to do this together and audition. And I was like, oh, dang, he built this for me. So I got to do it now. And so, yeah, I didn't start training ninja until I was like 34 years old. I'm 39 now. So
Awesome. If others of you want to jump in, feel free. But I'm just wondering, like, what would you say to moms who feel like, oh, I've had so many kids, I'm out of shape, I can't do this, or whether it's ninja or fitness in general, or even just moms who feel like, oh, maybe the physical sense of strengthening their body doesn't necessarily scare them, but they just feel like, I'm a mom, I shouldn't be doing this. My kids should be doing this, but I shouldn't be.
One of the biggest things that I like to tell people, whether they're moms or just Joe Schmo on the street or whoever it is that you're never too old to start another dream. You're never too old to go after what you want to do. And no, it's not going to necessarily be as easy as it was when you were 18 years old. But as long as you put in the work and you put in the effort and you get the help you need, that you find a community that is supportive and find individuals that are supportive of you, you can do whatever it is. Like, I am now 32 and I am in better shape than I ever was in high school or college or my 20s.
Yeah, I'll jump in there too. As far as the mom guilt thing goes, I think that everyone has a right to be a whole person. It's easy to believe that narrative that we hear over and over, that to be a good mom, you have to put your kids first, but it's possible to do both. I mean, a lot of it does have to do with having a supportive partner or having a support system. It's really hard to do it without that. But, I want my kid to grow up seeing me going after my dreams. Just because I'm also his mom doesn't mean that I can't do both,
Yeah, I mean, could someone try to define mom guilt for us?
Sure, I will. So I would call mom guilt just the idea that you should always put yourself last, or that you should always sacrifice yourself or make some sort of concession in order to allow your family to be the best that it can be. But I think that it actually doesn't work that way. I think that when you're the best person that you can be, you are going to bring that to your relationships within your family too.
One thing that I've heard other ninja moms mention before is they have ran into obstacles with their family in the sense of like, mom went to ninja class tonight and she's not here at dinner, or, mom's not home because she's at the gym or whatever. Have you experienced any sort of like struggles with balancing the time well, or maybe being guilted or shamed when you weren't home and maybe quote unquote you should have been or whatever?
Yeah, definitely. I think that for me, it's been about reconceptualizing what a family model can look like. So, yeah, if I'm at the gym on Tuesday nights for adult night, then I'm not eating dinner with my kid. And I was raised in a family where we always ate dinner together every night, at 6:30 p.m. or whatever it was. And so that is something I had to reckon with, and I think that a lot of women do, but I also think that if you don't eat dinner at 6:30 p.m. 7 nights a week, that's okay too,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all of our husbands are super amazing, and they know that Tuesday nights are like sacred for us moms, and that the moms have to go every Tuesday night and ninja train and see each other. And that makes for a happy wife, happy life.
I think it also makes us better moms, having that time away to ourselves and with each other, kind of just not that you need a break from your family. Well, maybe you do need a little break from your kids every once in a while for your mental health, but I come back so much more energized and just feeling like a better mom. And I don't know if other people feel that way too, but it just gives me that extra boost that I need in the middle of the week to keep going and put more into them.
Oh, 100%. I mean, everyone needs a break. As much as we love our kids, I mean, I think it's important to say that so that when people become new moms and they don't want to be with their baby 100% of the hours of the week, that they don't feel that crushing guilt. So I think it's good to talk about it and good to say, like, yeah, I really like to go to the gym for 3 hours on Tuesday night. Like, let's all celebrate that. We're all there for it. We're all there to be kid free on Tuesday nights.
And I think a lot of us take our kids with us too. Up here in Michigan, all last summer I would take my kids to open gyms with me, and they loved it just as much as I did. And then on Thursday nights at the Natty Ninja Gym, a lot of us go on the family night and train with our kids too. So I think that they like being a part of this training tool with us.
Yeah, and that's something that I have stressed a lot too, is that Thursday, first of all, the community at Natty Ninja is incredibly inclusive and incredibly supportive of each other. And James runs the gym with his parents, and his parents absolutely adore my son. I mean, a lot of people adore my son. It's sickening to the point sometimes because I'm like, you don't understand what it's like to be with him 24/7. But it almost has become so ritualistic that on Thursdays we are there together, and it's myself, it's my husband, and it's my child, and they expect us to be there. And when we're not there, it's kind of like, is everything okay? Like, what's going on? Is somebody sick? Did somebody get hurt? Are you coming? And it's just kind of been ingrained that this is something that we do as a family together. And no, my child, he's 5 now, and no, he couldn't necessarily make it through all 2 hours that the open gym is there, but he gets his little corner and he can sit in there with his toys and he plays with his toys, and then he comes back out and does stuff. And I've seen him blossom so much as more independent since we started going to the ninja gym. He can be very clingy, and lots of times, like, my husband and I will hide off to the side so he doesn't see us, because the minute he sees us, he's like, oh, I can't do this, I need your help, mom and dad. But if he doesn't see us, he goes and he does things all by himself. He swings, he does balance beams, things of that sort. And I get to see him grow as an individual, to get stronger, to get more confident in himself by being there together and us having this kind of family tradition.
And watching these kids' faces light up and get excited when they nail a new skill that they couldn't do the week before is just as exciting as when we nail a huge lache or get a new skill that we didn't have before. So I think that that's really neat to see too. And they love having us right there cheering them on. It's such a cool sport. I'm in love with it.
Yeah, it's powerful to hear you like explain it that way. And even just Jessica, I think it's, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but Jessica, on your Instagram, I think you have the quote that says, helping moms release the guilt and get back to chasing their dreams.
Yeah.
It's just really cool to, when I read that, I was like, huh, like I've heard a lot of moms talk about mom guilt, especially moms who are athletic and who are, just going after their dream or their passion in their own way without that shame of whatever, like fill in the blank, like whatever the mom guilt shame that they've dealt with is. But it's really inspiring and encouraging to me as someone who is not a mom yet, because that is something that I've literally feared. I've thought, if I have kids, my life is over. Like I've had that thought, and I know that sounds a little extreme, but it just seems I've had that perception because I'm an entrepreneur. I started this podcast. I started the Ninja Babes. I have been on American Ninja Warrior for 2 seasons, and like there's all these things that I've done that I'm a very independent person, and so I've thought about, oh man, like kids are great. Of course I want to carry on my family line and I want to raise the next generation, but like if I have kids, then that means I can't do, and I've like had this laundry list of things that I supposedly can't do once I have kids. So I really value these conversations, and I think that there's a lot of women out there who need to hear it, or women who are already moms who don't realize that there is an option of how to structure your family differently, or how to realize that you can involve your kids in passions that you have, and not that you're forcing them to like the same things that you like because you want to do it, but it's just more so finding ways that your family can function and enjoy things together versus this is yours, this is mine. Everything is like kids go to their rooms. I have to go do this,
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's pretty life-changing to have a kid. I mean, when
Yeah.
no one ever told me that, by the way, and then I was like, wow, what is happening? I'm so tired all the time.
Mhm.
But after that initial sort of newborn period passes, and it does pass pretty fast, I'm seeing, this is one of the powers of social media, is that I feel like I'm seeing more than ever that there are so many moms out there just like crushing it and doing their thing. And I think that the narrative that we used to see, like maybe when our moms were, raising us as little kids, that, I know that my mom didn't have anything like this. And I think she would have loved to have something like this. Frankly, she would have liked to have a Tuesday night away from me occasionally so that she could come back refreshed on Wednesday, and so that I could see her passion in what she was doing, So I just think it's so cool to be able to go into a gym and meet other moms and know that we can still do stuff like this.
I think one of my favorite analogies that it took me when I first became a mom, I had a lot of trouble with basically having this thing on me that needed me to be there, quote unquote, for it 24/7. And I had somebody tell me, you realize that you cannot take care of this thing, this baby, this child, if you don't take care of yourself first. And it's the analogy of how you always, on the airplanes, they always say, put on your mask before you help somebody else put on their mask, because you cannot help somebody if you don't help yourself first. And lots of times moms don't realize this, and they think, oh, well, I have to take care of my child first. My child comes first. And then you hear the moms are like, well, my child comes first, and then my husband, and then I get to do what I want. And it really shouldn't be that way, because you need to realize that you need to take care of yourself. You need to do what's right for you and what's healthy for you before you can do it for somebody else, whether it be your child or your husband. You have to take care of yourself first, because if you don't, you can't be there for them when they need you.
Just even in the last decade, I think things have changed a lot. My oldest son is 12. So 12 years ago, when I was pregnant with him, I pretty much remember all there was for pregnant women was prenatal yoga. And now you see, pregnant women doing CrossFit and doing pull-ups and running half marathons. And I didn't see that, 12 years ago when I had my first kid. So I think the conversation has changed as far as motherhood, as far as what you can do while you're pregnant and what you can do afterwards, after you have kids, and what you should do.
Yeah, I actually know a gym owner here in Jersey who has SOAR. It's a functional fitness type of gym, and they have classes for pregnant women. I know someone Nast Whitson. She runs BirthFit. So how do you work out as a soon-to-be mother or just having had kids? And it's true, like I've seen so much more information and stigmas being erased and just like new information to help moms and doctors and people understand better about what you truly can do safely and what you shouldn't do. But I think perhaps like in the past, people just thought any activity was going to be too much, and so that yoga was the only thing, quote unquote, safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so refreshing just to see this information come out and to be able to see a woman doing pull-ups or frankly whatever it is she wants to do and is able to do safely while pregnant. I can literally remember Googling like, can I lift weights while pregnant? Or like, can I do, just fill in the blank while pregnant? Because I feel like the medical establishment is still catching up with giving us that information that we need to have. And so that's why I just love to see classes like that cater to women in those different life stages that aren't just yoga, which I will plug prenatal yoga because I did that my entire pregnancy and it was great. Get those pelvic floor muscles all in place. But that's not all we want to do for those of us who grew up climbing things and running fast and challenging ourselves. There's a lot more you can do safely. And so I just love to see that now.
Yeah, there is a new thing. Even just 5 years ago, there was still that question of what can you do safely pre-birth and post-birth. And there was still this notion that you had to wait 6 to 8 weeks after giving birth to do any sort of physical activity outside of taking a short walk. But now they're finding the research that it's actually as long as you have had a non-complicated pregnancy and birth, and as long as kind of things are healing as they need to be and things of that sort, you can start back to exercising when you feel healthy enough. And so for some women, that could be as early as a week after giving birth, especially those women who have had it vaginally versus C-section, because there's other things of C-section. I don't know why I'm going into this, but that's okay. Anyways, that even after, even up to just a week after giving birth, you can safely go back to running or lifting light weights or things of that sort to kind of help your body heal. Because when you get down to it, exercise is a health concern, and it's both from like a physical standpoint and a mental standpoint. And it's not just something to do.
Oh, just a sec. It's summer. Warmer months are here. Do you have a refreshing drink to keep you hydrated during your workouts? Blending up some Propello Life amino acids with ice before a workout is the perfect way to hydrate. It's what I've been doing in these warmer days, and I love it. It's the best way to fuel up before getting into a sweaty summer workout. Then after I've worked hard and need to refuel for optimal gains, I drink Propello Life protein. It's non-GMO, tastes great in chocolate or vanilla, and its whey is from grass-fed cows with no additives or chemicals. I know I'm getting great nutrition and refueling the way that my body needs. Ninja Babes, Propello Life has the drinks for you. And best of all, you can use code NINJABABES, all caps, for 10% off your order, free shipping, and it's a way to support the Ninja Babes podcast. So go ahead and see all the whey and vegan options for pre-workout, energy, amino acids, and protein at propellolife.com. The link is in the show notes. So something else I've been wondering is, I've seen the bond that you women have as the Mom Squad, but just as friends and as women supporting one another. What has that support and that friendship meant to you?
For me, it has meant the world. I have gone through a lot of rough patches, especially after giving birth. And I had my husband and I had some other friends there and things of that sort. But I didn't have that support system that I needed before I met these three women. And I have used the analogy probably way too much, but when I started ninja training it truly helped save my life, because in that moment, that is what I needed. And I still need it. And I still need these women in my life. And it has helped me through so many hardships, whether it came from a poor work environment that was not good for my mental health, and they were there for me while I was going through the transition of leaving a steady 9 to 5, 40-hour work week to becoming just like you, an entrepreneur and a mom and a wife, through the death of our first dog to the death of my grandfather and this whole entire quarantine. They have been there for me like 110%. And I honestly don't know what I would do without them.
Oh, we love you too.
You make me cry, Jessica.
I'm really good at that. It's like my goal in life.
Lindsay, you cry a lot.
I do cry a lot. Listen, so that's the thing is like, there's the four of us, and I cry a lot, and Becky's really strong and stoic, and I call Jessica my safe space, and Lindsay's like the super happy, hello, friends person. We're all different, but we all complement each other. And I moved to this area 3 years ago, and I just said, man, I just want to make friends with moms who love to exercise compulsively and love Ninja Warrior. And my husband said, don't get your hopes up. It's probably not going to happen. And lo and behold, I went to the gym, and not only were they women there, but they were all in their 30s and they all had kids. And so, like, I pinched myself every day. Like, how did this happen?
Oh.
How did I find so many of these people to hang with? And we go to competitions together. I mean, it could be so intimidating to go to a competition by yourself. But Becky and Jessica and I went to, what's it called? Oh, the Arnold Sports Fest. And just to be there with somebody and someone's always cheering you on, like, it's just, it's great.
It is. I actually left Cincinnati 2 days after A&W filmed there, and my family moved to Michigan. And it's not even Facebook official yet, but we are moving back to Cincinnati. And I am so excited to be reunited with these girls that I just have such a strong bond with. And I love everybody that I've met here. And there are ninja gyms galore, which is amazing. But I'm just thrilled to be back with the Mom Squad. And I love that we stayed in touch the whole time. We are always messaging each other if we're having a hard day and giving each other advice on the kids or injuries or just anything that we might be going through.
We're happy to have you back, Lindsay Partenio. It's going to be amazing to have the Mom Squad back together.
You guys got to like write a song or something.
Oh my gosh, yes. And we can maybe we could incorporate all the topics that have come up over the years in our group chat, which include like, my kid has a rash, should I take him to the doctor?
It wasn't just any rash, right? It was a rash in a certain area of the body.
My kid has a crotch rash.
And Becky and I have taken turns tearing our ACLs, so we've had a lot of chats about that.
Lindsay's trying to move the conversation away from the rash. Yes.
Yeah, this is
Lindsay
joy.
and I both tore our ACLs, so we have had a lot of talk about the very long recovery process that is that, and just a lot of us have had injuries of various sorts, and so we have a lot of sort of like, okay, this is going on with me now. What kind of shoes have you guys used, and how did those work? And we also, I got to tell this story. When the two Lindsays were gearing up to go on A&W last season, I had to break it to them that they needed to wear spandex shorts. These ladies were both trying to wear mom shorts. It's just not going to happen.
If I can give a direct quote from Becky, she said, Lyndsey Halik, you cannot look like a frumpy mom on the show. And I was like, okay, is that how I look all the time?
No.
Once we got into it, now you can't get us out of it.
We're redefining what a Mom-Bod is, guys. And P.S., when you guys wore your booty shorts on the show, you looked amazing. So I'm going to take the credit for that.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I guess it would even like make our relationship stronger is that we can be brutally honest with each other, and like Becky brought up the spandex shorts, but I mean, I had a conversation with Lindsay Partenio about, hey, sweetie, you've lost some weight. You need to get a better bra.
I was trying not to go there, but you just went all the way there.
Well, Lindsay Partenio, we were doing a photo shoot for season 11, and she was like, Lindsay, you need some lipstick. Here, wear mine. So, yeah, we're all brutally honest with each other.
Lindsay, I've always thought of you as the no lipstick type. I didn't know that you broke down and wore some lipstick.
I did. I mean, I think it was like glorified lip gloss, but
Okay.
like I don't wear hardly any makeup, and then Jessica's like full on glam squad all the time.
Yeah, you're very good at makeup.
Wow, that was enjoyable to listen to. Um, yeah, so we're coming up on the end of our time. Does anyone want to say anything else? I know another topic that was mentioned in the DM that Jessica sent me was about how there are less women than men in our sport. Did anyone want to touch on that at all?
So, one of the things that I credit with helping get me out of the funk I was in after I gave birth was getting to see Casey Cat, because I was pregnant. I got pregnant basically after Casey Catanzaro, Michelle Warnke, and Megan Martin made it up the wall. And then I was kind of in my funk that next season. And one of the things that kind of just helped me get out of it was seeing these strong women compete. And I think that I can speak for all of us to say that we want to be able to show other women that, hey, this is a male dominated sport, but just because you were born as a woman doesn't mean that you can't do what all these men are doing.
Yeah, and I'll jump in there too. I think there is something to be said about finding someone who has gone through similar things that you have when you get into a gym and you start this really intense and sometimes intimidating training process. Because I've noticed that, I was the kind of OG natty ninja mom since I started training there first. And I noticed that as each of the moms came in, they were more likely to come to me or then the other moms when they wanted some beta for, the rig or a certain kind of lache or any of the obstacles in the gym. There is just something more approachable about being with another woman and another mom. I mean, whether it's because we all pee a little bit when we jump on a trampoline, or if it's just because we know that we were up at 6 a.m. getting everything done that we need to do for the day. There's something comforting and there's a real bond there. So that's why it's just so important for women to, to train together and to keep getting out there to the gyms. Sorry, I said pee, guys. Sorry, our secret's out.
Oh no, I always have to go pee before I attempt a trampoline jump. And it,
1,000%.
yeah, multiple times. But it's really sad because women will show up to the gym once and they'll say, oh, I couldn't hardly do anything. That was too hard for me. There was a bunch of men there, and then you'll never see them again. And some women are intimidated by us. And I'm like, please don't be intimidated by us. Train with us and get better. And the first time I went to the gym, I couldn't do anything either. So we all have to start somewhere, but just please keep at it. And women, keep going to the gyms.
Yes, Lindsay Partenio here. I could not do anything when I went either. And then I'd stop going for a couple weeks. And then James, bless his heart, would send me a message like, hey, get back to the gym. We miss you. And then my bond grew stronger with everyone. And I'm so glad that I kept going back because I went from barely being able to do 2 pull-ups to just building on that strength and your grip strength. And you can do it and you're not too old. And women can build up that upper body. I had a gymnastics and cheerleading and running background in high school and always called myself an upper body weakling, and bars were my worst event in gymnastics. And I just never thought that I could do that. And I loved ANW and I just admired those strong females so much. But I never thought that I could be like them. And I just kept working. I fell in love with the sport and the people that I trained with. And you can get there if you just really put your mind to it.
Yeah, when I started going to Natty Ninja, I was still working on my pull-ups. I could barely do one, and now I think my top number is something like 9 or 10 because you just kind of have to work at it. And the first time I went, it was very intimidating, but then I had people tell me, "You're coming back next week, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And they would be like, "Okay, you better, because if you don't, like, I'm gonna message you." And it's the factor of not giving up that people need to remember.
And I ended up going back just as much for the social interaction as I did for the workouts.
Yeah, there is definitely days when all of us are there, if we're all there, that I'm pretty sure there's more standing around talking than there is actual training.
You got to let your grip rest a little bit. So
That's true. You're strategizing while you discuss. But that's one of the reasons why I started Ninja Babes is I wanted another outlet for women and girls to support one another, but also just like this camaraderie of we are all in this together. And I've personally always found that the guys at the gym are so supportive of the women who come, and they don't look down on us or treat us differently. I've always found the guys to be, wanting to be helpful, wanting to support us. And so I appreciate the guys in our sport so much because I've heard other women say, I came to Ninja and was shocked that the guys respected us. And that's why I stayed. And so like just seeing that difference in compared to other sports where it's not the same way or the rules are just so different between men and women that it doesn't feel like you're doing the same thing. But with Ninja Babes, I've always just wanted it to feel like this group and this community that crossed state lines, crossed country lines even. We have so many Ninja Babes out in Australia and Norway and different parts of the world. And it's just so cool to me to find another way to support one another and to remind women, to remind girls that you can do this, you can be strong, and you can set your mind to this and accomplish it and feel so proud of yourself.
Yes, you can do anything.
100% agree with that.
Yep, just because you've gotten older, or you've become a parent, or you've had hardships in your life. And I think that's one of the things that I really like about A&W is that it can show people that no matter what adversities you have faced in your lifetime, you can always come back stronger.
Well said. Well, I've so enjoyed having all of you on the podcast today. Thank you for sharing your Mom Squad wisdom and the laughs. And I did not think about the whole peeing when you hit a trampoline thing, but Kegels or keep whatever.
yep, that stuff's important.
Yeah, mom life right there.
Well, I just appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for being on. And real quick, if we could go through the line, where can everyone find you on social media if you want to be found?
Thank you so much for having us. It was such a pleasure.
I'm not a huge social media person, but Lyndsey Halik. That's all I have for my Instagram name. I'm not fancy.
I like how you put in the want to be found.
Yep, and I am on Instagram at Becky Over Fire.
I am under Leapin' Lindsay.
And I am on Instagram as OCR_Jessica. And then I have a Facebook page called Fitnessing by Jessica.
Amazing. And of course, you can find us at The Ninja Babes, in case you didn't already know that.
Be strong.
Be you.
Be ya.
Ninja Babe.